Get your brollies, Newcastle fans, because there's going to be a lot more Arteta tears. The Arsenal match, folks, coming up, and I tell you what, it's a pretty good one. Make sure you stick around. It's match day. Welcome back to Black White Banter, ladies and gentlemen. And it is the early kick-off. And I think Gandhi once famously said, never back the early kick-off. Whether that means a good thing for us, because we're probably not the favourites today against the Gooners, or whether that means bad, I don't know. But for the first time in what feels like a while, we are going into this one on a bit of a buzz. I was buzzing after Wednesday. If our match vlog didn't show that at the end. So much negativity going into that one. We put on a great performance. Just what the doctor ordered, you could argue, against good opposition. Chelsea B team, load of bollocks. That Enzo Fernandez was put on toast by Sean Longstaff and Mr. Tonali. £100 million, my arse. It was just what we needed. And it's a very difficult week. Chelsea twice and Arsenal in the space of 7 days. We've lost one, won one. Now what can we do against these? Look, difficult match. We all talk about last season. Who could forget those Arteta tears? It's a disgrace. I was watching it back the other day. Absolutely hilarious. It really was. But different kettle of fish today. Arsenal played their weaker team in the cup against Preston, I think they had in the midweek. We didn't do that. We went pretty much full strength, minus a couple of players here and there. Look, we've won 2 of the last 3 against these. There's going to be battles that are really important all over the pitch. We need a good noise from the fans again today. And I keep saying it, I sound like a stuck record, that early crunch and tackle from a Dan Burn or a Anthony Gordon or a Bruno, it gets the crowd up a notch. And one thing I know about half-12 kickoffs is that although the Geordies love a drink, the atmosphere is not normally as good because it's an early start. People are leaving the house at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. And it affects atmosphere. You know, it's not a long stint in the pub. It's maybe an hour in the pub, hour and a half. Depending on how much booze you get down your neck in the house before you leave. But we need the crowd. There's going to be key battles all over. The one I'm really fascinated to see today is Lewis Hall against Saka. Saka's created the most chances in the Premier League, I believe, this season out of any other player. And he's one of their main danger men. And if Lewis Hall, who played brilliantly on Wednesday, can keep him quiet, then so be it. Now, as I'm walking, the team news has actually come in. And look, I'm not going to start this by being negative. I'm going to try and avoid doing that. But the way I'm looking at it is, Tonali played absolutely brilliantly on Wednesday. We all talked about, would that midfield need changing? Is Eddie Howe going to change it? He did, and we played class. Tonali's now on the bench. He's brought Bruno in, and I'm not going to say that I'm too frustrated because, you know, at the end of this video, I could be absolutely dancing around with my pants off, happy with the win. I can confirm the pants did come off. But you play your best players against the best opposition, in my opinion, and you can't tell me Tonali's not capable of playing 2 matches in 3 days. So Eddie Howe is clearly trying to rotate. I'm delighted to see Joe Willock in there because I thought he really impressed on Wednesday, and anyone who knows me knows I like a little bit of Joe Willock, again, especially against his old team today. Let's see what we can do. Isak, 2 goals in 2 games. He's getting sharper and sharper. He probably knows this club are interested in him in the summer as well. So there's battles. We've got Livramento at right back. He needs to improve. He has not looked as good as the Tino Livramento I loved last season. Defensively, we've been pretty sound. That's going to have to continue today. And to be honest, we think about last season, that battle. It was the battle of St James's Park. There was slide tackles going in, tears from managers. A bit more of that today would be nice, because when Eddie Howe was asked at his press conference about the dark arts and whether we like that sort of match, and he said, yeah, they seem to thrive off it. Bit more of that today. Let's hope it's a bit of a tasty match, because players like Joe Linton, who was brilliant on Wednesday, absolutely thrive in that environment. Am I confident today? You've got to be, haven't you? You have to be, but I'm not underestimating what a difficult game this is against very, very good opposition. So I'm just walking down now, going to get the Metro over to St James's Park. Long may continue. Oh, by the way, Dealing with Eddie Howe's Mags has been released. That's why I'm a little bit dark under the eyes today. That took a long time to put together. Please drop down, give it a little view, little watch. It was good. So many Chelsea tears, so please drop that a watch. And let's see whether we can get into these today. Probably got time for a swift pint And I am in the posh seats today. I'm in the Platinum Club, you see. I quite like the prawns in there. The prawns are much to my liking. The red wine is a bit of me as well. So we're in the Platinum Club, padded seat, pint glass at half time. Tell you what, I don't have to know how to live life. So better view, but I will miss the strawberry corner atmosphere, of course I will. But my American friend Amy's going to be in there today, so that's nice. She's travelled over. She might be watching this video. If so, I hope it's a happy one. And let's get into these Gooners today. And hopefully see some more Arteta tears flood the Newcastle upon Tyne area this afternoon. How are you, lads? Right then, I haven't done them for a while, but before we get into the match, before we get into St James's Park, let's get back, because I'm feeling good after that Chelsea result on Wednesday. Some black and white banter. Stats. Stats. Let's keep these as positive as possible, and let's put our positive spins on them. That's what I like to do. Arsenal have not ever lost consecutive away games to Newcastle, because we all remember them Arteta tears last season. God, how could we forget? Since a 3-match spell between 1994 and 1996. So let's hope that today is the day that those consecutive defeats just get a little bit worse for the Arsenal fans who've made that early trip, maybe over last night with a bit of a hangover today, over from London. And fingers crossed we just knock them a little bit off that title race to make things a bit sweeter as well. Mr. Alexander Isak, let's talk about him. I thought he'd started the season slow. He has got 11 goals at St James's Park in the last 11 league games. Some record. He's only second behind a certain Mr. Andy Cole. Andy Cole. He gets the ball and scores a goal. Andy Cole. For goal per minute ratio, only Andy Cole has better than Alexander Isak. That again is some record, and I'm fancying him again today. I'm fancying him to be the hero. Go on, over to you, Mr. Swedish Prince. Let's bring it on.
I can predict the future.
Last but certainly not least, I couldn't do my match stats without talking a little bit more about the opposition. Bukayo Saka has created the most chances in the Premier League this season. He seems to split opinion with a lot of fans, neutral fans, whether he's a little bit more hype than what he deserves, whether he actually is a world-class player. You can't argue with that stat. And him against Lewis Hall is going to be a very interesting battle. I've already mentioned that one. So let's hope that Lewis Hall comes out on top, just like we saw on Wednesday, and he really continues pushing on. Big ass 2 in 2 days, but I'm going to back the lad. Come on, Lewis. Right, let's get to St James's Park. Oh, you're the lad. Another game I'm going to quickly tick off to get this video, because I'm not going to be doing any fan interviews on this one, because I'm going straight to the pub, no matter what the score is a little game of theirs or ours. I've done this on a lot of home games. Every game this season where I can remember actually do it, I have to pick a member of our squad to swap with theirs. Has to be. I can't use the one I've already used, and this is a tricky one, so I'm thinking about Arsenal's best 11, best players. You've got Saka. We do need a right-hand-sided midfielder. They don't really have any great strikers, which is an area we probably need to strengthen a little bit. Central midfield. Oh, it's a tricky one. I'll go with Saka, though. I will, just because we don't have much quality on that right-hand side, so I would swap. You're not going to be surprised to hear this one. I would swap Almiron for Saka. I don't think Saka's a world beater, like I was just talking about him on my stats, of course. He just split opinion a little bit. That's who I'll take. But let us know down below. There's or ours. Who would you take?
Oh, me lads, you should have seen us gunning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there, all the smiling faces, gunning along the Scotswood Road.
Tell you what, it's nice in here. Proper pint, ordering some drinks in for half time. Could get used to this with the posh lark. I think there's a couple of Arsenal fans dotted around though. Didn't split the G. Eddie Howe's disappointed Mags, but fingers crossed Eddie Howe's lunchtime early kick-off nice. Come on! Bit different at the Terrace as this man, isn't it? How the other half live. Fucking get it! in. And I'll tell you what, Mikel Arteta, there's a storm brewing. I don't know whether you can see the sky. I'm not outside the strawberry today. I've mixed it up a little bit, but you can tell there's a storm brewing because I think those tears from Arteta are coming in from London and taking over the northeast. What a result, what a week. And I tell you what, in a week where that started really negative after the Chelsea result on Sunday, which I thought was unjustified, and I've said it on my Chelsea match vlog earlier in the week that it was unjustified. What a week it's ended up being, because I tell you what, if you'd asked me which game out of the three I would have preferred a defeat in, I would have said Chelsea away. If you'd asked me which game I would have preferred a result in, I would have said the Carabao Cup. But we've gone one further than that. We've gone and beat Arsenal, title chasing Arsenal, and I tell you what, did they really create many chances apart from a couple here and there? Last minute header was probably, last couple of minutes, probably the best chance they had. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, because I've had a few drinks. Wow. Right, first and foremost, let's just sum up that match. First half was a little bit cagey. We didn't come out the same as we did against Chelsea on Wednesday. That's fine though. You can't do that against every team. It's not always going to work. We were a little bit more disciplined in when we pressed, but I thought, generally speaking, we had the better of it. We were good. We were good. And that goal, any Newcastle fans watching this who might just enjoy a traditional goal, I know there might be some who are a little bit newer, who maybe like a goal to be passed 40 times first. Sometimes a whipped pass, cross into the box and a header is one of the most beautiful things you'll see as a football fan. And that Isak goal was just traditional, good old English football. Crash, bang, wallop. Right, we've got something to defend. And I tell you what, we dug in. First half, we saw it out. A couple of half chances here and there. Nothing overly substantial to really shout home about in terms of chances as the game went on. But we just kept on going. And I thought we were good for it half time. I don't think Arsenal were the better team by any means. We were good for it. On to the second half we go. Eddie Howe decides not to make too many changes too early, but you know there's players there who can come on. And I thought we just dug in. Arsenal had lots of the ball, very similar to the Chelsea game on Wednesday. But lots of Newcastle fans in the stands get very, very frustrated at that. I understand why. But we just have to accept that sometimes against the big teams, Chelsea with the 50 players, Arsenal with the 20, whatever, the title chasing Arsenal, very, very good. Players of quality in every position. We are not going to have dominance and press in every moment, because sometimes that can be a little bit naive. We dug in. Our defence this season, the record stands for itself. We are pretty good going for where we are in terms of goals conceded so far this season. And we just dug. Allowed them to press, allowed them to try. We tried to hit them on the counter from time to time. And Arsenal didn't create very much. Nick Pope is probably having a glass of wine tonight, pretty happy with what happened in front of him. He had to catch a fair few balls, couple of palm rollers into his gloves. Steady Eddie, but we dug in, and we did have a couple of half moments here and there. Could have had the moments where we could have capitalised more. Absolutely over the moon. Now, team selection, look, let's talk about it, because it's a big talking point again. Was I frustrated when Tonali wasn't starting? When I said that at the start of the video, I was very frustrated. You play your best players against the best opposition. But what I will say to that, as I spoke to a bloke in the posh Platinum Club, healthy competition is good because it brings the best out in players. And I think he's brought Bruno back in. Is Bruno the same as Tonali? No, not at all. I do think Tonali offers us more in terms of energy, in terms of movement, in terms of pace, in terms of just that fast thinking. He does offer us more than what Bruno does, but I thought Bruno dug in. I tell you what, if there is one man against a team like Arsenal who can win a free kick better than anyone else, it's Bruno. He supported us, he dug in. There was a couple of defensive moments that were great. And team selection today with Joe Willock. Look, Joe Willock didn't do anything from an attacking point of view that was massive. But Joe Willock offers us legs. He carries the football. He drives us into the box. He wants to make things happen. And Eddie Howe, all of the criticism of him, look, I've said on previous videos, you can say what you want about Eddie Howe, that is fine. But with every manager comes a bit of learning when you've got a squad that last season, with all the injuries, we didn't really have. Tonali, we haven't had for 9 months? He's learning. and he's tried to play that dream midfield. I think, and I hope that's the key word, that Eddie Howe now is learning it might be a case of one or the other. And I tell you what, Tonali's a great option. He was a great option in the second half. Bruno came in and played well, and he's led us as captain to a 1-0 win against one of the best teams in the Premier League. I think he's found his balance there. The only thing I worry about is Joe Willock's injuries. And I was happy to see Joe Willock come off, because we have to protect him if we are going to utilise a midfield that has a balance of just sitting, playing it deep, also getting in the defensive nitty-gritty, but also being able to carry the ball up the pitch and support that front three. And I think we have to be looking now at one or the other, unless Eddie Howe changes system. It doesn't look like he's going to. You know, people say Eddie Howe is so... This is one criticism that I don't like, is that Eddie Howe is set in his ways with what he plays. Every great manager in world football has a style of playing. Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, you name it, you rhyme it off, they will have a style of play. And let's face it, Newcastle fans, the 4-3-3 high press system, not that he's always used it, hasn't done us so badly. So look, he does mix it up from time to time. I understand there's a pressure for him to change system. With Bruno and Tonali, I think he maybe has to look at that. And that's something for him to work on the training ground with Mad Dog Tyndall. But today, man for man, to reduce an Arsenal team to creating so few chances, which I'll touch on in a second why I think that happened, it was brilliant. And is it one or the other? I think it is. I think it is, Newcastle fans. I'm curious to get your thoughts in the comments below. But look, let's finish on standout performers. And I talked about in midweek, Lewis Hall. I said going into this game, one of the key battles was Lewis Hall against the Bukayo Saka, who has created the most chances in the Premier League this season. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was excellent. But let's go to the other side. Tino Livramento, who this season hasn't been great. I don't think many Newcastle fans would claim he has been. A lot of Newcastle fans, including myself, are calling for Trippier to come back in because of what he can do at the other end of the pitch as well. Defensively today, I thought Tino was absolutely fantastic. Decision-making, first half, it was right in front of me. Decision-making was great. We were really, really on top of that. Midfield, Longstaff, let's talk about him. Lots of Newcastle fans don't like him. They will continue to not like him, and they will continue to voice publicly that they don't think he's a very good footballer. Whilst I agree with some parts in terms of technical ability, what he offers in terms of passing compared to the likes of Bruno Tonali, Longstaff has a role in this team that he knows inside out because of Eddie Howe. And sometimes, just sometimes, it works. And he knows his role. He knows how to press. He knows when to press. But he also sometimes can just play the simple ball. He's not amazing. And do we need to upgrade to move on to the next level? Yes, but right now, sometimes when you take him out of the side, I'm not saying some people have made these stats out to be Longstaff comes out, we lose. It's not as simple as that. That's a bullshit statistic, pardon the French. It really, really is. But I thought today he deserved credit. Gordon on the right-hand side, not playing his favourite position. I thought he was good. He caused problems. And Isak, it's great to see him back amongst the goals. He starts slow. I just think Eddie Howe needs to think about maybe making changes because he seems to tire. After 60 minutes, he slows down. I think Asula could have done us a job when the goal was getting a little bit tough. Look, Newcastle fans, we have just defeated Arsenal. Arsenal, again, 3 wins out of 4 in our last 4 home matches against them. That's a good record. That's an Eddie Howe record that he can claim. And those Cockneys, by the way, I just want to finish. Platinum Club. Let's talk about the Platinum Club. I was in the Platinum Club today. I'm not very often, ever. Strawberry Corner, everybody knows that's where I love. That's where the noise was, and I noticed that today. But I had a spare ticket with my missus. That's where I decided to sit. There was 5 Arsenal fans in front of me today. Everybody, it was normal. Why is away fans in the home end normalised in the Platinum Club? And people talk about why the atmosphere is a problem. It's because home fans are humouring the away fans, having banter with them. If that was in the Strawberry Corner, they would have been booted out after 2 minutes. It's not on. I don't like it. And if that's what is normal in the Platinum Club, I don't really want to sit there. If again, £80 a ticket in there to sit with away fans, to sit amongst away fans who are happily, not wearing shirts, of course, because they wouldn't have got in, but happily letting everybody know that they are Arsenal fans. But on that note, I'm going to finish off because I tell you what, there's no fan interviews today. And the reason there's no fan interviews is because I am about to get changed, which is why I'm outside my house, to go on a bar crawl of Newcastle, of every bar I've never been to. So we've got a spreadsheet, you name it. It's going to be great. I'm going to tick off all the bars that I've never, ever been able to go to. So my hangover's going to be awful tomorrow, but you know what's going to make the hangover sweet? The fact that Newcastle in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, we've just defeated title chasing Arsenal again, and no doubt there's going to be a Mikel Arteta meltdown. Newcastle fans, go and enjoy your weekend. What that like, what that subscribe, what that little follow. Get us across all social media, because dealing with Eddie Howe's mags will of course be coming out. Jesus Christ, I'm not going to get any sleep. And as always, keep the faith, because this team has proved this week, when the going has got tough, that we are still playing for this manager, and this manager will get us results. Sometimes I think at the moment it's just a case of learning his best 11. Let's hope we just push on from this and really, really move on to Nottingham Forest next week, which of course I'll be going to. Keep the faith. How are you, lads?